Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator 19. I'm Andy and this is Let's Play on Bioreal Farm. So we started out in the Excel document today. I did some calculations and looked around on the internet and about baling. So I got a baler and I've been baling quite a lot. And I calculated a bale per price in Sweden would be, or the income would be 56 euros. That's pretty okay. And then looked at how much it would cost. Firstly, I started lifting them up manually from the field, and I realized that this is a lot of work, and I would probably, I don't know, how much would it cost to contract this out. So I looked around, and it wasn't too expensive actually. 62 euros per hour. So I added this little thing to our account here, so I can put in the number of bales. I'll get an income for them out of the 56 euros per bale. It will cost 62 euros per hour, which I figured you could probably get 30 bales off a field an hour, but then it's transporting and stuff. So I said I will 20 bales, which is probably on the low side, I'm guessing, but still 20 bales. So I calculated I would get 20 bales per hour. So, and then I did this little math thing here, which means that if I get 10 bales, I'll get 529 euros because of the cost of transporting them. So I don't have to transport off the field. 30 bales, 1500 euros. So I've been. Let's go and check my stats. I got 154 bales so far. So if I put in 4 bales, our income after transport will be 8147. So when we've done everything, all the baling, we'll put that in and get money. So I have crop, bales, lumber. So those are the income post here. I'll get the final income eventually. So financially we're doing quite okay. So what I did in real life, in the game, that is that I'll show you. I'll stop this here. What I did was that I got the bale trailer and I bought I got a trailer which autoloads. Just Google Autload FS19 trailer and you get it. And then I just go and sell them, and then I modify the price afterwards. So I won't have an income yet. So I just take off the price I have, or the money I get. Basically, so this is to mimic the contracting work. Still have to do a bit of work, but not compared to what I would be doing. So you would go like, oh, isn't this cheating? Well, it's cheating in the game, but in real life, if you contract it out, you wouldn't do anything with it. You would just do this. So I've been baling quite a few hours now, like 3 hours maybe on the map. I'm at field 5 over there. 100 and, what did I say, 54 bales, quite a lot. We have a bit left to bale before we're done with the fields we harvested so far. So then of course we'll go and harvest. Then when the field's ready, we'll go and harvest the rest of those, and then we'll bale that too and see what the income stops at. It will be interesting to see. I think this is an interesting way of doing it, of course, but when I looked at the price of actually contracting, getting the bales off the field, it wasn't too much, like 62 euros, which is like 650 kroners per hour, is not a lot of money. That's very cheap compared to doing it yourself, and you would save quite a lot of money. I actually looked, when googling how much money it would cost, I looked at a study done quite a few years ago, but it was done on by the Swedish Farm University. It's not the correct translation, it's Agriculture University probably. Oh, full. And there you could see that I just need to go 38205. I'll put a sell point here, so what? We'll just go there. So 7605, go in here, minus 7605. Then it deducts 190 more, so we need to add 190. So, no, actually it was one more. So, now we're at the point where here. So anyway, they were looking at a few farms, and they basically came to the conclusion: if you're doing a lot of what's called vallskörd or mowing and baling and that sort of stuff in your operation, you already have the equipment. That's a loose situation to rent, to contract baling out. Then you should do it, because it's also part of income. But if you don't have the equipment for it from the beginning, then contracting it out is a lot cheaper than buying the equipment. Of course, you have a pretty hefty investment cost, and then you have quite a few years when you have to pay that investment off. And you probably eventually go into green figures, but it also is, you have to calculate the amount of work you need to do every year for it. So the thing was, this sort of work is not, well, contracting is a lot more, is better financially if you don't already have the equipment. So in this case we already have the equipment, but it's a lot of time, and compared to the cost of contracting it, I decided that I'll contract it. Instead I would spend, I spend hours baling, I would spend much more hours sitting getting the bales off the field. That was my initial plan. My initial plan was to could do it manually, but then the spikes on our wheel loader weren't too good, and then I was thinking about changing the round baler back there to a square baler, because then I could use another type of bracket on the wheel loader, which would be easier to grab the bales. That could have been done, but that would have been an investment cost there. Maybe we might get there eventually, I don't know, we'll see. But currently we're not doing it. We need to start to implement some sort of fallow system also. Can't have all the fields in fallow at the same time, so we'll do that. Maybe next season we'll leave a few fields in fallow. So I have this field left. I have, we see, stop here. We have this field left on number 7, 8 left, and then I have a bit on number 2. I don't know if I'm going to bale it now or leave it. I think I might just leave it. And then we have that part left, this one, this one, this one, this one. So I have a few fields left to harvest when they get ready. They're not there yet. They need a little bit more growing time before we can harvest them. Oh, what else? Well, that's pretty much it. I'm using the round baler extension, which automatically stops and unloads it. And I know that's cheating, and I wouldn't have that in real life because I don't think that baler would have it. It's just so boring to do this. So I guess I do a little bit cheating compared to real life. But I guess in real life it would be slightly more efficient, but not too much more efficient. So we're actually making quite a lot of money. So thinking that this money could go into maybe buying a horse stable or something, horse pen, and get a horse or something. I'll think about it. I don't know. I'll think about it. I was actually planning on planting cover crops or oilseed radish on these fields because I thought that this could be nice. The problem is it's already too cold. If you look at the ground temperature is 5 degrees and you need 6 degrees to plant oilseed radish. So at least on this map, I don't know if that differentiates between maps, but here you definitely need it, and that means I can't plant it. It's too cold. So we can plant cover crops. I don't know if we're gonna fertilize it and maybe plow it later in the spring in the next season, or I don't know how to. I'll think about how to do it. But at least I won't be planting cover crops. It's just too late. I don't know how real this season is or the geo data is. Maybe it is. I do actually see quite a lot of planting, like winter wheats and that sort of stuff going on around where I live. But we could go check, because we could plant wheat here up to this point, and it's 5 degrees, so that could be done. I don't know how that works in seasons. Maybe I should do like one field, like an experiment, and see if it works or not. Because it would be interesting, and if it doesn't work, we just replant it in the spring, so it's okay. Because that's what I think they do. A lot of things around here, they plant in the fall and then it will come up in the spring. Quite normal procedure. I'm guessing to save time and that sort of stuff. I'll look into that. By the way, this is quite a while ago, but I got some feedback from SB Farmer, so thank you. I want to thank everyone who gives feedback. It's quite cool, and I am grateful for it. Usually when recording, I'm quite a bit far ahead of myself. So this episode, you watching it about, I don't know, 3 weeks after it was recorded. I had a lot of time working from home with the COVID-19 and Corona thing going on, so I had a lot of time in the morning to record stuff, and I wanted to play stuff, and then so it gets into this weird cycle where I want to record, I want to play, but I also want to show you the parts I've played, so I record to show it, because otherwise I would just skip so much ahead of myself in between. I would be like all done with all the fields and you wouldn't get to see any baling, and I think that would be a shame. So I record and then it like uploads it, and then I have a schedule. You can check the schedule, the link is in the description. See, it's a Google document, so you can just look at it, and it shows when episodes are going up, and you will see that it's quite quite a few episodes going up in advance. So whenever I upload, I put a little notion there, so you can see when the different episodes or the next episode in a series comes up. And if it's not there, it's not done yet. And when it's done, it gets inputted into that document. Basically. What else is going on? I saw a study that talked, a Swedish study about working from home or distance working, as we call it. It's quite an interesting episode or study, because it showed that a lot of people, well, about 40% wanted to continue work more at home after where this is over, and a lot of people were more productive. Things worked a lot better. The only thing that was suffering was the sort of cohesion with your colleagues at work. You didn't meet them as much, and therefore people thought the group cohesion was worse off, which is logical, I guess, in a lot of way. But productiveness was up. Everything was. This is of course opinion, so it's not measured in like true production value, but people thought it worked quite nicely. The biggest distractions were the children if they were home, also social media, but that was pretty much it. A few other things, but not too many people thought they were distracting. So turns out people, I don't know if it was author of the study or someone else said it, but people that were, I heard it somewhere else, people that managed to work at home, they work pretty much, they don't have an issue with this. And then there will always be a group of people that has issues and have problems doing this. And maybe in the future, people that work from home without issues will have an advantage over the other group, and they will probably be more valued in companies overall. And I also listen to a podcast about aviation, which I found interesting, and they were talking, I've listened to a few pods, so I can't remember exactly which one it was, but they were actually talking about the fact, I shouldn't say the fact, they were talking about the issue that a lot of companies might realize they don't need as much location. So the market for office locations might actually be quite reduced. If people can work from home, then and that works, then you'd probably be able to even accept a slight decrease in productivity, because you would be able to have less office space, which would be would be much easier or cheaper for the companies, basically. Worse off for the people that build and rent office space, or that sort of facilities. I don't know, maybe cheaper in the end run for consumers and better for the economy. And better for the environment. I mean, that's a really big advantage. I don't have a long way to drive to work. I drive 15 minutes. I have like 10 kilometers, no, 9 kilometers maybe to work. I drive that back and forth every day. So that equates to, let's see, valued up to 10, just for easy calculation. So that's 20 day, that's 10 kilometers, I have 10 kilometers, I have 20 kilometers per day, times 5, 100, so 100 kilometers per week. And that's the short distance drive. So by working from home, firstly, I save the money, which is nice. I don't, it's too short of a drive, so I can't deduct anything on my taxes, so it's just a loss for me. So the fewer times I can drive to work, the more money I'll have in my own bank account. But that's one thing. The biggest advantage, I think, is that huge save for the environment. I mean, the less I can drive around in my combustive, what is it, combustion engine fuel, gasoline fuel car, the better it is. So, and if I can work from home, which works pretty much without much issues, if I can just say, if I could increase the amount of time I work from home per year. Oh, I'm gonna get my spreadsheet. I thought this was interesting. So I was gonna do this turn here before. We'll borrow the spreadsheet that we are using for our thing. Yes. So
hey everybody.
So that's my son who just woke up. Okay, we'll just borrow here. So if I say I'll drive 8 kilometers per... Sorry? Sorry? Sänker ljudet bara lite. Okay, so I drive 8 kilometers per day times so back and forth, that's 10 times. It's 80 kilometers per week. My car produces 0.07 liters per, no, 7 liters per 80 kilometers, right? The thing in Sweden, we don't use this at 10 kilometers, we say Swedish miles, so a mil, and a Swedish mile is, or mile is 8, so it's 10 kilometers, so I drive 8 miles, Swedish miles to work every day. My car goes 0.87 liters per Swedish miles. This is changed, we calculate different, the car says differently, but I'm so old, I'm stuck in the whole way of calculating. So say that times that means that I use 5.6 liters of gasoline per week. So, or I'm going to calculate per day. I know how many work days I have in a year. So 8 times 2 or 0.8, we'll do Swedish miles, times 2, so 1.6 Swedish miles per day. And I have, let's see, work days per year. I have 252 work days per year. Is that with vacation? Oh, that's with okay, so I have 252. So work days is 252 equals 252 minus 31, which is the amount of vacations I have, so 221. So 1.6 times that is 353.6 Swedish miles per year driving. I use 0.7 miles. So that times, sorry, this turned into a really weird episode. So 247 liters, 248 liters per year of fuel. It's let's see, it's 13. I don't know the average price, but it's 14 Swedish kroners per year. So that times that. So if I didn't have to go to work, I would save 3,465 euros, which is about, I don't know, 340, maybe 330 euros or something. So if I say I didn't have to only say half the days I need to go to work, that would half that cost and half that fuel amount, which would be good for the environment and good for my economy. And then people drive a lot further than I do also, so people that drive further would save more money. My friend, he works at the same place as I do, and he drives I think like 50 kilometers, no, maybe 50 kilometers per day. That's like, say it's 50 kilometers per day. That's 100 back and forth. That's 100 kilometers per day. That's 500 kilometers. That's a lot. Takes away. So we could definitely save a lot of money, time, for instance. It takes time to drive, and also environmental issues. And there's so many meetings that take place that then could be done online instead, which is great. Because then we wouldn't have to go around bumping around the country, which sometimes I have to do, and go by train and planes and everything. Firstly, it's a bit of hassle, and it takes time, and it also destroys the environment, which is, if we could reduce those numbers, that would be helpful for the environment. So I think there's a lot of things getting out of this corona thing. So also at my work we have our facilities are kind of limited amount of, we've grown faster than we have the facilities for it. So I've been talking about different ways to do that, to handle that, and what they eventually landed on temporarily was that we went from single person office to 2-person offices. So now we have 2-person offices, and I probably think you could even reduce that number more if we needed to, out of the corona thing. I still think we need offices, and it's hard to do without office. I have quite a lot of stuff there, but just things that's going totally digital would be a really big improvement. We have so much papers, it doesn't need to be stored physically. So they could be stored digitally if you just use digital signing technology and that sort of stuff, which exists. It's not a new thing, and it does exist. And it could probably be implemented pretty smartly or smoothly. It's just about using it in real life, and at least at my workplace, people are pretty young. People are definitely capable of changing things and handling things in new ways. So there's so much things. I started in the beginning of this. I started a document on my work computer where I just wrote down things that didn't work and things that it could be improved or changed. And that document is like 5 A4 pages now and stuff, just in points on what could be done. So quite a few points. And what didn't work, or what did work quite okay, or that's, well, I didn't do so much of what did work, but put in things that didn't work and many ways to improving things and also solve it. So we'll see. My boss could get that document, and most probably nothing will happen, because that's the way my work works. You can suggest improvements till you die, basically, and they're very rare, never ever implemented, I would say. I've been talking about things for 4 years and it never happened, so I'm not that hopeful that things will change. But I'm hopeful in the way that COVID-19 did actually force a lot of change into effect, which we've been talking about for a long time, and suddenly just happened because we didn't have any choice. Like distance working. A lot of people want distance work, but my work leadership is sort of, we don't need to be there, we need to be there, and need to be in place, and suddenly I think it's pretty apparent that we didn't. The amount of people that need to be on the spot is quite low. Most of our work could be done either by going visiting people directly or by calling people. Distance working and distance meetings is a pretty easy way to do that. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Thank you for watching. This has been an episode of Buy a Real Farm on FS19 and slightly environmental issue calculation on me driving to work or not. Links are in the description as always, and we'll see what we'll do next time. Probably done with harvest, done with baling, and we'll probably do some sort of complete calculation of how much money we made off this farm in a year. Or not a year, in this time we've been farming, so a season in the farm, on the farm. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, leave a comment or share, and have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.